everybody, my name is Victoria, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you my April TBR pile. Just like many of you, I have unexpectedly found myself with a lot of extra time in April that I wasn't expecting. My work has been canceled for the next month. Well, that is, I'm not going into work in person, but I will be doing some things online. But for now, I'm anticipating having a little extra time. I'm not making my TBR too much crazier than it usually is though. I'm only gonna have 6 books on my TBR just because I don't want to add extra stress in this time. And then if I do pick up more than 6 books this month, then that's great. But I think I will at least set out to read minimum of 6 books on my TBR pile. So let's go ahead and jump into what those are. The first book that I have as priority in the month of April is to continue on with my reading of The Lord of the Rings and to continue to read The Two Towers by JRR Tolkien. At the time I'm filming this, I'm not quite done with The Fellowship, but I will definitely be finished by the time we get to April officially. So I'm really excited to continue in my reread of Lord of the Rings. I'm just loving this series so much. It's reminding me of how much I loved it the first time too, and I just think I'm gonna love it even more every time I read it. I don't remember as much if I liked The Two Towers in the series. I think it's a little bit shorter than The Fellowship, because that is my one complaint with The Fellowship, is that it gets a little bit long and meandering, but I think this one's a little bit more slightly to the point. I could be totally wrong about that. I read them in college, so it has been a few years. It has been since 2011. So yeah, it's been about 9 years since I've reread The Lord of the Rings. And The Two Towers is looking a little slimmer, so that gives me a little bit of encouragement. That'll be a little maybe easier to get through. I do not feel like I need to tell you the synopsis of this. It's Lord of the Rings. Everybody kind of knows what Lord of the Rings is. Next up, I will be continuing in the Anne of Green Gables series, which I'm just having so much fun with, and we are on book 4. This is Anne of Windy Poplars, and I believe in this, now that Anne is done with college, she's going to be continuing on with a new job, and oh, I guess, okay. There's spoilers on the back of the book, just so you know. But that serves me right for reading the back of the book. Never do that. You should never read synopsis. I hate it when synopsis give you spoilers, and I think especially with classics that happens a lot. But yeah, book 4, Anne of Green Gables. Very excited to continue in the Anne world. It is just so warm and fuzzy, and it is what I need right now. Just a warm and fuzzy world that feels secure and happy. So really excited to continue. The next book that I have to show you, I'm pretty stoked about because I've only heard every booktuber ever talk about it, and I feel like I am truly the last person in the world maybe to read it. But that is the first book of the Mistborn series. I thought it was called The Final Empire, but now that I'm looking at this, it just says Mistborn on the front. Is it not called The Final Empire? Maybe I'm getting that from somewhere else. But this is an old edition, so maybe the old edition was just called Mistborn. Anyways, it's book 1 in the very famous Mistborn trilogy series by Brandon Sanderson, and I did read Elantris recently, and I am excited to continue in the Cosmere books. And you know, everyone just says such good things about this, so my expectations are like through the roof right now. So please don't disappoint me, Mistborn. I don't think it will. I think it's gonna be really good. Also, I kind of like the cheesy tour covers that are older. You know, she looks pretty badass, so I don't mind these old covers. I know a lot of people don't like them, but they kind of make me happy. Sorry if the camera moved, I kicked it on accident with my fuzzy slipper. The next book that I have to talk about is going to be part of my goal to read 20 books from my physical TBR in 2020. And so this book is going to fulfill that. I am starting another series. I guess we're starting 2 series? Oh my goodness, we are starting 2 series. So the next series I will be starting, other than Mistborn, is also fantasy, but we have a YA fantasy, and that is Shadow and Bone. I almost said Shadow of Bone. That's incorrect. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I This is another one that I feel like everyone in the world has read except for myself. I am behind on those booktube hype types of books, and I do want to be in the know. I've heard mixed things about this first early series by her, that it's tropey, maybe it is a little bit predictable, a little bit uninteresting in that way. I don't know. I've also heard a lot of people love it, but I'm going to try it for myself and see how I feel. There are 3 books in this series, and then you continue on to Six of Crows. I know some people have said you can read Six of Crows without reading these. However, I'm very, I have to do things by the book. I have to do things in order. That's just the type of person that I am. And so I do feel compelled to pick up the series first before I get into Six of Crows. So, yes. Excited about this. Excited to see what I think. Will it be good? Will it be not so good? Time will tell. The next book I have to show you is also from my list of 20 books to read in 2020. And so I would like to next read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And we are coming into springtime. I felt like it was a good time to pick this up, an appropriate time. Even though we're all kind of stuck indoors, we can still go out and enjoy nature in the springtime. And so we are going to enjoy that and read The Secret Garden. I have tried to read The Secret Garden on audiobook several years ago, and the audiobook wasn't very good, and I just gave up on it. I don't tend to like classics on audiobook because I think there's already that barrier of being a little bit in a language that we're not used to hearing and not used to speaking. They just have a way of writing that we're not super used to, so I don't like classics on audiobook. I'm excited to read this very pretty cover. It's part of my collection back here. Anna Green Gables and Heidi, and they all kind of have the same style, so I'm looking forward to reading it. I have read both of these, so this will be completing that collection for me as well. I remember watching the animated version of The Secret Garden when I was younger all the time, and I remember really liking that version. I also remember a live action version that I think is pretty standard, maybe from the 80s, and I would love to revisit both of those adaptations once I read this book and kind of see how those adaptations hold up now. Especially the animated version, I remember watching it like all the time when I was a kid, so it will be an interesting little project. And the last book that I have to show you is actually a manga, and it's a manga that I have been working through kind of on and off. I don't want to say I've lost interest, but I have kind of lost some steam because a few months went by between me continuing on with the manga, and that is Fruits Basket. I'm on volume 9, and I think I read volume 8 maybe in December. Yes, I think back in November or December, and I almost need to reread volume 8 before I reread this one because I don't remember a lot of things that happened. I find that to be the case a lot with the series and me. For some reason I forget a lot from volume to volume. I might need to maybe do a little, I don't know, Googling and research before I go further because I kind of forgot a lot of things, I think. But we are continuing. I'm so close to the end. I think there's only 12 volumes, so I do want to continue with this, and then if I have time, I would like to read the 10th volume as well. I own 10 and 11, so those should keep me busy for a little while. This is a very cute, sweet manga, and it is very much about the relationships between the characters, and there's like a little bit of a love triangle that happens, and it's just kind of a cute, fun, sweet story. And there's a lot of drama, like family drama, and a lot of like tragic backstories, and I feel like every single volume has revealed another character's tragic backstory, and so we'll see whose tragic backstory they reveal in this one. Those are all the books that I plan to get to in the month of April. Again, I feel like I might get to more. It just feels like I will get through these pretty quickly, but maybe not. I don't want to necessarily spend all my time reading because I do have some other hobbies that I want to get to as well, such as like practicing and maybe writing music too. It's been something that I want to do now that I have a lot of extra free time in the month of April, but we'll see how things go. I hope that you're doing well in the midst of a little bit of an uncertain and crazy time. And let me know what you're planning on reading in the month of April. Do you have extra time in April? Do you have less time in April? Let me know down below what your reading is going to be like in the next month. I have some of my bookish media linked down below in the description if you want to follow me in other places. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel already, so that we can be friends and we can keep up with each other in this reading world. Keep reading great books, and until next time, bye-bye.